The year is 2008. I'm around 6 years old and I'm visiting my cousin's house. They recently bought a new video game. It's called Super Smash Brothers. We all play it together and I have the time of my life. It's a four-person fighting game where you choose your favorite character from Nintendo video games and fight it out with each other. For years to come, I would always play this game with my cousins whenever we visited, and it became one of my favorite game franchises. So really, you can use this game to foster connections with other people and just have a good time. So, as a fan of the franchise since I was around 8 years old, and I've been involved in the online community for this game a lot, much more than any child should have had access to the internet at the time. So I feel I'm credible to speak on this. So today I'm going to tell you about Super Smash Brothers, its history, it fostered connections within the gaming community, and as well as its impact on the gaming industry as a whole. So Super Smash Brothers, it started in the 1990s with the first one that came out on the Nintendo 64. So it was at first meant to really just be a little novelty game. It wasn't really meant to be popular, but it actually gained so much notoriety that they came out with a sequel in the early 2000s called Super Smash Bros. Melee. Then in 2008, they came out with the third game, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. This one was the one that I played first when I was a child. So then I already love this game, but imagine my surprise when in 2013, they announced another sequel. And I was around 10, 11 years old at the time. So as a child, I could not contain my anticipation. So then 2014, the game releases, coincidentally near my birthday, so I was able to buy it, luckily. So then after that, in 2018, the latest installment came out, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This one was very big. They had many new characters, many new things, all things like that. So now that I've told you about the history of the series, we're going to move on to its impact on how it built community. So for one thing, it's a highly multiplayer game. You can take it to parties, you can play it with your relatives, your friends, things like that, and just build a community around you of people's love for video games. Not only that, it also had a very strong competitive fighting game scene. According to the website StartGG, which is a website for archiving data from popular fighting game tournaments, in 2019 for the EVO Fighting Game Tournament, out of the 1,400 participants, around 3,000 played Smash Brothers. That's around a 25% participation rate compared to all the other games that were much lower. There was also a very heavy online community for Nintendo's platform called Miiverse, which I was very involved in, even though a child should not have been on there. It was meant for kids, but a child should not have been on there. And now that I told you about its community-based impact, I'm going to tell you about its impact on the gaming industry. For one, it really introduced people to a lot of new franchises. There was one franchise known as Fire Emblem, and in Super Smash Bros. Melee, the second installment, they included two characters from the Fire Emblem series. According to Shacknews, the Fire Emblem franchise had not even actually been released in America yet when Super Smash Bros. Melee came out, so it was many fans' first experience with the series. And me personally, in the fourth installment that came out in 2014, I had never played Fire Emblem before, but I was familiar with the franchise. But they added a DLC character known as Corrin to promote the new Fire Emblem game that he was from. And due to that, I ended up buying Fire Emblem, and I love the franchise. I've been a fan ever since. That's one of my favorite franchises now. So now that you know about Super Smash Brothers, I really implore you, if you ever need a game to bring to a party or you just want to know more about video games in general, I would recommend Super Smash Brothers.